Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody on July 1st is Canadian, had a nice Canada Day. It is, I'm recording this on Friday morning. There's the cats running all over the place. But I thought I would do a Rancho update here this morning. We are getting into harvest time. I know this is the next big project. We got to get on this. Got to get on this painting. Get this done. But that's for the future. But I think we'll start in the back here. Glad to have you guys. We did look at this. I trimmed the heck out of it. I really gave this tree a haircut. It's hard to believe it was cut last August. And it grew that crazy in that amount of time. And I've been grinding it up. Oh, I gotta pull that off later. But anyway, there's our grind pile there. Fence is still holding up, thank goodness. This one needs a little bit of repair up here, but she's basically holding together, which is good. Now the apple tree, there are not many apples this year, and it's not unusual. You'll find many fruit trees are what they call alternate bearing. They do real heavy years, and then they end up the next year doing very light production, and I guess it helps the tree to recover from producing a lot of fruit. There'll be enough to make some pies and stuff. These are the Gravenstein apples, and they'll be ready to harvest on my return to the Rancho. But it's amazing about this tree. This tree must have been planted when the Rancho was built in 1956. You can see how it has struggled to endure underneath of this huge California oak tree. The way it's all pitched forward. But it refuses to go, just like this fig tree. Which I don't like this figs, but every time you take it out, it just regenerates. Finally, you just give up on it. You give up on it. It's going to be another hot one. This is going to dry out. This is not going to need any more mowing. Here, hopefully when we turn to homesteading and put this into production, that'll be very interesting. Here we're going to have 3 rows of corn, 100 feet each row, and 100 feet of tomatoes and 100 feet of onions, and maybe some carrots too. Get into some big production. This soil should be very fertile. So I'm going to let this stuff dry out a little bit, and it is easier to grind once it dries out. Coming over here, a lot of production here. You can see the fruit on the, this is the Santa Rosa plum, and it has produced a lot of very nice fruit here. And this didn't produce anything last year, but this thing has produced like crazy. This year we kind of got the sun on us, but you can see. And let me tell you, these plums, we don't use any sprays or anything, but these plums are absolutely delicious. Juicy and very sweet. I took some down to the Boston Janet's. All right, so I'm going to harvest some of these today. You can see we have, this is a problem. We have voles that dig up here. Always looking around for the water source, and I have a little bit of leak I want to tend to today. Here, this other plum tree here is called the elephant heart plum. And these won't get harvested until August. So, and they're a much deeper red. There's our pear tree. And yes, we will get some pears this year. Got another couple months to go on that. They're pretty slow growing. We did have a bit of a cherry harvest. But over here, slide through here, we have the peach tree. And we still have another couple weeks to go before the peaches are going to be harvested. Because I didn't thin them out, they're going to be a little bit on the small side, but they're still very tasty. Right? Ideally, you should always thin out the fruit so you have quality big. And some of them are quite big up there, but in a couple weeks they'll be ready to harvest. I'm allowing the tree to lean into, because the fruit gets heavy, I'm allowing it to lean into the Valencia orange tree here. And I love Valencias because they hold their fruit all year round. So because it didn't bear last year, this tree, the Santa Rosa plum, it had a chance to strengthen, and we haven't had any branch breaking at all because I concentrated on building a stronger structure of the tree that would be able to support a big fruit load, and plum trees produce a lot. Okay. So the watering system has been working really well. The timer has been going great. That system that we put in, so the well water's holding up. I don't have any leaks. We're holding pressure. My timer that I put in only allows us to have electricity between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., which means if we do have a line break, this won't go into runaway mode trying to keep this tank filled up here, and that's very important. You know, last year we had a line break and the pump just kept running. It was wasting all of this precious well water and running up a fierce electric bill. So that's all been so it will never go into a runaway mode again, or if it does, it will only be running for 2 hours. Over here, all these get some irrigation at the bottom. There are lines underneath now, and you can see these look pretty healthy. We've had very hot weather here, but they're holding up good. Here's our Robertson navel oranges. They're coming along good. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful harvest on them. Over here we have the persimmons, the high chia variety. And you can see they'll be ready to go in November, December. And lastly, the all this hedge is good. These Lady Banks roses are going to have to be cut back again. These things grow like weeds. Over here you can see the tomatoes are doing great. And Catherine, thank you. She sent some plant food, and the productivity looks very high on these. So these should be ready to harvest when I get back towards the latter part of July. We have 12 plants, and I think we have tomatoes in each one because it's going to be a lot of canning this year. I want to do a lot of canning and then enjoy that through the year. This is the only one I don't have any tomatoes on that, but it's blossoming well. And the watering system has been working quite well too. So they haven't been stressed at all. And the tomato cages are working wonderfully too for keeping everything contained. How they look pretty good. So all the tomatoes are coming along really well. Looking good. All right, I think we got our first, yeah, that one's turning. Pretty color there. Might eat that one a little earlier to enjoy it. But a lot of productivity here, a lot of productivity. So it's nice to be able to just push these in, and then they stay growing within the cages, which keeps them from flopping out all over the place. So I just gradually train them as they grow. Well, that's going to be the update, guys. Thumbs up are appreciated if you're not subscribed. please subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. It is harvest time on the Rancho. Thanks, everybody.